guys.
Hi, Alex.
So we have some more people hop on.
So birding's running a little bit late.
I laughed as soon as I hopped on here because I saw Jeff Birding, and that does not look like Jeff Birding. It looks like our general manager.
I love it.
I'm invited.
Are we all picking different names?
What's that?
I'm invited by Jeff Birding.
Do we get to pick our character?
Because I want to stay on the Baileys when the stadium opens, so that's the reason I joined.
Love it.
That's great.
Hey, Jimmy the Legend. It's great to have you, bro. Thanks for being here.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, no real questions for you. Just, 5 minutes of just impact,
Hey, Jimmy.
memories,
Hey,
all that
guys.
fun stuff, It's
Okay,
important.
yeah, kind of just ramble on or what?
5 minutes, man. How the Bailey.
Jimmy, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Jeff, hey Jeff, how are you?
I hope you're driving hands-free. Dan Lolly, how was the view today?
It was great. More seats are in. Bailey railing was in. It's a good day. It's a good couple weeks to be out here.
Nice.
Jeff, obviously, I did not get to do our experiment, so
Yeah, thanks for that.
you're stuck with me in the office.
No, it's fine.
Jared, did you get a haircut just for this?
I did it for you, Brandon, actually. Just for you. Just for you. Had that quarantine look going. I had to get something changed up.
Jared, come on, man.
How many small animals crawled out of your head when you cut it?
Too many to count. So we'll see.
All right, well, we want to get started.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Cool. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to our virtual town hall event about the Bailey. I'm Alex Deck. Thank you for joining us. It's a very tough time right now. I know we wish we could all be in person doing this together with one another, but we hope that you're staying home with your families, you're staying safe, still supporting FCC from your house, and you're excited about our game on Saturday against Minnesota, following along closely. But we're all here for the same reason, obviously, excited about the Bailey 2.0 West End Stadium opening in the spring of 2021. So super exciting stuff. And as you know, right now you can place a deposit all the way through October 16th. That deadline is creeping up. So not a ton of time, but we want to answer any questions that you guys have about the Bailey, what we think is about to be the most exciting supporter section in all of MLS. I'm sure everyone on this call agrees with me. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce all of our special guests that we have joining us today. So first up, we have FCC President Jeff Birding. Give a little wave. Oh, he doesn't have his video on, so we'll skip over that. And then a surprise guest, I'm sure you guys may have seen him at the top of your screen, but we have our midfielder and Cincinnati native fan favorite, Jimmy Mclaughlin.
What's up, guys? How are you?
And then we will go to our Senior Vice President of Sales and Ticketing, rocking the zip up, Jeff Smith.
Hey, everybody, thanks for being here.
FCC Supporter Liaison, Brandon Jones.
Hi, everybody. Good to be here. Thanks for joining.
Our Vice President of Facilities and Stadium General Manager, Dan Lolly.
Hey, everybody.
And then two very special guests repping our supporters tonight. We have the President of Die Innenstadt, Jared Handra.
Hey, everyone.
And the Vice President of the Pride, Matt Brew.
Hi there.
Nice weather. Looks like a good day to be outside, Matt.
It is beautiful out.
Awesome.
Not staying inside a minute longer than I have to.
I don't blame you. I'm staring out at the fields at MHTC right now, and it's gorgeous. So thank you guys all for being here today. And for those of you joining the call, if you have a question, either put it in the chat box or there's a Q&A section where you can put it as well. I would suggest holding on to your questions. At the end, we're going to have a special dedicated Q&A session. So we'll take all your questions at the end, but if something pops up, you can send it. We'll try to address it. So first off, let's kick it off to FCC President Jeff Birding. Jeff?
Well, good evening, everyone. Great to be with you. Alex, can you hear me okay?
Absolutely, you sound perfect.
Okay. So
Oh,
there we go.
there we go.
There you go.
Sorry about that.
A bit of an echo. There you go. I think you're switching from your phone to your laptop.
I was trying to, but we'll do it just this way. So good to be with everyone. Obviously, a very exciting time with our club as we prepare to open West End Stadium next spring. Just a few quick points. Ever since we launched FC Cincinnati a little over 5 years ago, the goal was always to be in Major League Soccer, and we were going to prove to the world what a great city this was, a major league city. And the whole impetus for how we were going to draw crowds that no one thought we could ever do was with the Bailey. It was going to be organic. It was going to be real, genuine, passionate people who came together around the love of soccer, but also love of the community, love of city, and the bond, the connections, the humanity really of what that environment is like, that shared pride, and the ownership, the authorship of literally creating a club and creating that experience. I always said it would be the siren call where people who were not big soccer fans would come to an FC Cincinnati match and say, "Oh my goodness, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen fans like that. You gotta come. You gotta see this. The smoke and the songs and the chants and the evidence of real pride and passion." And so the West End Stadium is the culmination of 5 years of what we've built together at Nippert, starting in the Bailey. The West End Stadium is the culmination of everything that our club has been about in these 5 years. It is the natural progression. But if you think about everything we've accomplished together in this audition phase and then build phase for Major League Soccer, it pales into comparison to the importance of what the next 10 years will be, starting in 2021 in the launch of this stadium. I know that all of our supporters here are aware our owners are funding this several $100 million stadium, and they're doing it as a legacy commitment to this community and building a club that we think will be of enormous import to show the best of Cincinnati to the rest of the country and the rest of the world. And really, when you think of the picture of what that looks like, we think of the Bailey, we think of our supporters, and we think of the organic growth that we've had. So we're tremendously excited about the stadium and to share more about the Bailey with you here this evening. Obviously, 2020 has been a tough year. COVID has made 2020 something none of us have ever experienced. All of us on the call, hopefully in good health, but certainly of enormous challenges. And every time it seems like you read the newspaper and see more cases, more death, more people losing their jobs, it's so depressing. It's so discouraging. And I think for many of us, the fuel has been the highlight of what we are looking ahead to West End Stadium. I know that this year we've suffered what was going to be a tremendous year, and we've suffered the loss of our final year at Nippert with you, with our most passionate supporters. and we've not been able to have you be a part. And that has been a great pain. It has been hurting to everyone in our club because we wanted to celebrate this launch where we could celebrate Nippert and then our march into West End Stadium. So we appreciate your ongoing support, your patience while we've lost that opportunity. Obviously, if there's if it does present that we are given permission to have even a small number of fans, we look forward to seeing you at Nippert as we round out that part of our history. But otherwise, we'll look to march together. And I know Gerard is on the call. We will have a team that this year, while more competitive, next year, more winning. Because our aim, our why as a club is to make Cincinnati a championship city. And we can't wait to get into the stadium with your support and start delivering on that next spring. So thank you so much. I'll be on this all of tonight to answer questions, but right now, listen, the lift that our supporters give us is felt all the way out onto the field. And someone who's been with us since our first days as a USL club, and when we were building that winning and ultimately championship USL team, this person was a big part of it. So please join me in welcoming onto the town hall, Jimmy Mclaughlin.
Thanks a lot, Jeff. I really appreciate it. I mean, I don't even really know where to start. I mean, Jeff really hit on a lot of the main points, but I think when you look back at the creation of FC Cincinnati and you really put it all in perspective and you think about how quickly that this club has grown through the USL into the MLS and now moving into our own home, a $200+ million stadium in the heart of Cincinnati, it truly is unbelievable. I remember the first day I came to Cincinnati and then they walked me around Nippert Stadium and I thought it was incredible. I thought it was a stadium that we frankly were never going to fill. And now to think 5 years later, we're going to be playing in our own stadium that's going to be on a whole nother level than what we've been used to. I never would have believed it, but I think that's what makes this club so special. It keeps defying expectations. It keeps proving people wrong, and it continues to grow and continues to build this really special culture and experience for everyone who's involved. And I really do think the Bailey is what has been the heart behind all of this. It's what separated FC Cincinnati from the other sports teams in Cincinnati and the other soccer teams in America. There's always been a great sports history here in Cincinnati. Obviously, the Bengals and the Reds have had historical strong teams in the past. And I think those game day experiences are always very fun for everyone going. But there's nothing like the Bailey. There's no group of people who are chanting the entire game, letting off smoke bombs and basically willing the team on the field and giving them that extra motivation they need. And what Jeff was saying about having fans come back and start talking to each other about what's going on and about the Bailey and about how the experience is different than a Bengals or a Reds game is really what I think made this club take off. And it's what created this amazing journey for all of us. Obviously with COVID right now and in this crazy year and in season, I think it's really clear the power that the Bailey has and that the home supporters have. And it's even now it's much more difficult for teams to have the same advantage while playing at home. There's no fans, and it's clear by looking at the results that teams aren't winning as much at home because they don't have the fans behind them. And I think it's a whole nother level when you come to play in Cincinnati and when you're coming to play in front of our amazing fan base. And it's a piece that has willed us on to many victories in the past over the years and some of our biggest moments in club history. So I'm so excited for the new stadium and for the evolution of the Bailey and the evolution of FC Cincinnati and MLS. As Jeff and Gerard have always talked about, this has always been the next step for the club. It's getting into the new stadium and really ramping things up and becoming a super competitive team in Major League Soccer. And the fan base, they deserve that more than anyone. And no one more than the players want to give the fans the wins week in and week out. And we're doing everything we can to give you guys what you truly deserve, because you are the reason that FC Cincinnati is in MLS, and the reason that why we're playing here. So there's going to be many more exciting new memories in the new stadium, and the new Bailey, I'm sure, is going to be even better than the old one. And it's exciting to see this team, this club, and this city really grow up together and move on to something really special that we all created over the last 5 years.
Well said, Jimmy. Got everyone excited now. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jimmy. I really appreciate the time and your words of encouragement, and you're saying how we're all feeling. So we're even more excited after hearing from you about West End Stadium. All right, let's kick it over to our Senior Vice President of Sales and Ticketing, Jeff Smith.
Thanks, Alex. And thanks, Jimmy, for being on the call tonight. Pretty cool that we've got one of our favorites that have been here from the very, very beginning, can truly appreciate the Bailey, its inception, its impact, and the importance as a player on the field, the difference that our supporters make every game that we play. So thanks again for being there for us. It's kind of fun looking back at the beginning for those of us that have been around a while, and really almost like proud parents have seen the Bailey grow and develop from inception, from the very, very beginning. And like Jeff mentioned, it always has been that rally cry for FC Cincinnati. I would challenge that more often than not, when people talk about FC Cincinnati, the name comes up, or we're there in conversation, the first thing that people think about, the first thing that people connect the dots to FC Cincinnati is the Bailey. The Bailey simply has become a part of our society. It's been a part of our city and the fabric of our community. And that's a powerful thing. And it shows the impact of sport and the impact of some pretty special fans for the longevity of FC Cincinnati. So fun to look at the beginning, but also fun to look at the future. So there's kind of Bailey 1.0, and now we're talking about Bailey 2.0. So pretty cool story on how a lot of this came together. So like 5 years ago, this is a club that was built by our fans and for our fans. And so as we move into West End Stadium, that same approach took place. So you're going to hear from some of our supporter group leadership, Jared and Matt, here in a little bit, but we did bring together leadership individuals from all of our supporter groups, and we sat down and we started to talk about and brainstorm and think about what would the ideal Bailey look like in West End Stadium. We never want to lose sight of what got us here, but as we move into a new building, if you guys could build it, what would it look like? What characteristics would it have? And I can tell you where we stand today is really representative of what that wish list was all about. So the Bailey 2.0 is going to consist of 3,170 safe standing spots. Okay, so the Bailey is a safe standing supporter section. It will be at the steepest decline allowed by law. So you talk about a formidable section, a formidable area of the stadium for a visiting team. It is going to be a wall of our most passionate fans. So you talk about the place to be in West End Stadium, it's going to be the Bailey. We're going to have Capo stands. These seats in these safe standing areas are going to go all the way down to field level. At Nippert, we always had that challenge where it was almost like an awning, an overhang to the field. These seats will go all the way down to field level. So 3,170 safe standing spots, all under cover with the awning of the roof. We're going to have those Capo stands that I talked about. We're going to have drum stands. We're going to have a TIFO mechanism, a structure that's going to allow us to have oversized banners and displays at all of our games. We're going to have, for the first time ever, legitimate ADA seating. ADA seating in the middle of the Bailey. The entrance to the Bailey will come right off the concourse. We'll have ADA seating in the middle of the Bailey for the first time. You're going to have a direct view of a scoreboard, something that you haven't had at Nippert Stadium. So directly behind you in the Bailey will be the nation's widest scoreboard in any soccer-specific stadium in America. But looking directly at you, you will have another full screen to make sure that you don't miss any of the action. And maybe to some on the call here tonight, most importantly, there will be a dedicated supporters bar directly behind the Bailey. So we're talking 25 feet away from your seats. When you walk out of the Bailey, a dedicated supporter bar to make it as convenient as humanly possible for you. So hope you're thirsty.
Smitty, I think Gerard liked that one. I
Yeah,
watched
I
his
saw-
reaction to that.
Are you nodding, Gerard?
His eyebrows raised.
I'm going to try to, bear with me here a second. Hopefully most of you have been to the website. You've been to westendstadium.com. You've seen some of the virtual environments. But what's kind of cool about where we are today is virtual environments. This is the Bailey as we see it today. So literally this week, by the end of this week, the Bailey will be formally complete. So if you're down at West End Stadium, this is what you see. There's that scoreboard that we're talking about. You see the safe standing railings, which we will have cup holders. So every spot's gonna have a cup holder, a railing to help support, keep you safe. But you can begin to see the magnitude of this space. You see how those rows come all the way down to field level. You see the awning above you. And here's a little shot from a little bit back. You see all the work that's being done on lighting, on speaker systems. Again, how far out that awning comes to all of the seats. We're talking about doubling the size of the Bailey as it relates to Nippert Stadium. Here's a great shot looking directly at the Bailey. So you can begin to see here, these vomitories are where you enter the Bailey directly off of the concourse. These platforms right here are the ADA sections in the heart of the Bailey. So easy access to your areas and seating, and directly behind here on the concourse level is that dedicated supporter bar. Here's another shot from the west side of the stadium, looking over to the east. Again, the magnitude of the space, the scoreboard. And here you are at field level. So you can see that steep decline, the railings, the view. This is going to be a very, very special space. So part of the experience, right? We're going to have all those fun amenities that we just talked about, but we also, when we come to events, we go to the live sporting opportunities, the food and beverage experience is a big part of game day. And I think that's been an area that we unfortunately have been challenged with at Nippert and the University of Cincinnati. It really was a food and beverage experience, full transparency, that was kind of on the backbone of a dining hall experience. So what we're going to have at West End Stadium is going to be a 180 to what you're used to seeing. So we're proud to partner with Levy Restaurants. Our friend Nigel, I believe, is on the call here tonight. So basically, Levy Restaurants represents the industry leader in the food and beverage experience for professional sports. So whether it's the Super Bowl, NBA, NFL, Levy continues to kind of trailblaze with the food and beverage experience. So we are very, very proud to partner with them. So when you think about from day one, our number one priority has been the fan experience. And with Levy, we believe that we are going to over deliver on the food and beverage experience. So when you think about your fan experience, you think about speed of service, you think about ordering and integration to the team app, you think about fulfillment kiosks at the stadium, hawkers with handheld devices for the speed of ordering and making sure we get you taken care of. We're going to have more concessions. We're going to have portables. We're going to have grab and go markets, imports, craft beer, more diversity, more options, full wine and bar options across the stadium. So you can begin to understand the impact of the food and beverage experience for everybody in the Bailey, but also everybody in West End Stadium. So we've got Bailey 2.0. We've got all these fun characteristics. You saw the visuals. You better understand the food and beverage experience. So for a lot of you, maybe you've already made a deposit. So right now, Alex alluded to it, but we have our deposit campaign going on until October 16th. So for $50, individuals can place a deposit, and it kind of gets your spot in line to be able to select seats in our third and final sales phase for West End Stadium. If you have interest in the Bailey and you haven't made a deposit, get it in. Don't miss out. For $50, you reserve that spot in line. And something else that we did for all of our supporters, almost a tip of the cap in honoring our best fans, our best supporters, is we kept all pricing flat from Nippert Stadium. So the Bailey season ticket price was $325 at Nippert Stadium. It will continue to be $325 at West End Stadium. So for less than $20 a game, 17 home matches, you can reserve what we believe to be will be the best supporter section experience in all of MLS. So how the seat selection process works is it starts with our season ticket numbers, and based upon your priority, you'll have a designated day and time to pick your seats in the third and final sales phase for West End Stadium. After that, we want to recognize that this is a supporter section, and we want this to be vibrant and electric, and we want to deliver the fan experience. So we are going to have a very special pre-sale opportunity for our dues-paying members of all of our supporter groups. So immediately after our season ticket holders, we're going to have a special little pre-sale window for our dues-paying supporter group members. And then anyone else that makes a deposit will be based upon when you make that deposit. So I'm very proud to help oversee what I believe to be is the best sales and service team in all of Major League Soccer. Many of these folks have been with us from day one. Through the years, we've got great consistency. I know many of you have developed a relationship with our sales and service team. We will be at the ready to walk you through the process, answer questions, talk about advantages and opportunities for seat selection. So I know that was a lot of information. We'll get to some FAQs, as Alex alluded to here a little bit later on in the call. But I think at this time, we'll pass it back to Alex, and we'll hear some more conversations and look forward to answering some additional questions.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Yeah, you got some questions rolling in after that. I think people are getting excited, and yeah, you've sparked conversation, so that's great. Next up, we will have the president of DI, Jared Handra, share a couple words. Go ahead.
Hey, everyone. Hey, as everyone kind of alluded to so far, we're obviously really excited for 2021. Obviously, we wish we could be at Nippert, kind of get one out one time more, but it is what it is, right? So, yeah, for the new stadium, I mean, Jeff alluded to it, both Jeffs alluded to it, but we're really thankful that we were able to kind of be in the process as this was getting built, and had kind of a checklist of things that we wish we could see in the new section, right? And honestly, I think most of everything's that was on that list has gone through, and we're really excited about that. Everything that you're going to see in the new section is just going to enable us as a whole supporters union or collective to do more. Bigger tifos, more flags, singing and dancing, and more drums. Obviously, everything's kind of going to be amplified from what we're used to at Nippert. And even the overhang over top is going to make a big difference, both with not being soaked, playing Philadelphia or whoever it is from Pennsylvania, Bethlehem Steel, whatever it was a few years ago, but also, magnifying our voice, right, and supporting the team on the field. So, this facility is really, honestly, a dream come true from where we started, right? So, it's obviously a safe standing section, and we're really looking forward to that. And we really want as many people as we can to be involved and be part of that, be part of the SGs, be part of the Bailey. Even if you're not into being an SG, that's fine. But when people join and get involved, that's where the creativity comes through. That's where some of the tifo ideas come. That's where some of the song ideas come from. That's where it takes a whole community to really do what we do every match day. So we're the leaders of the supporters group. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself, to Matt Brew, anyone from the brigade, Hangar 937, everyone there. So you can always reach out to us directly, through the Q&A or through Twitter, what have you. So I'm rambling at this point. So I'm gonna let Matt Brew kind of bring us home, bring him the lawyer talk here.
Yeah, not all lawyers are bad. For those that don't know, my name is Matt Brew. I'm the vice president of the Pride. Like Jared said, we couldn't be happier to be moving to the new facility. The club has been fantastic about including ourselves from the Pride, Dienenstad, the Brigade, Hangar 937. Any group that wanted to be a part of this has had their voice heard, which has been, all credit to the club on that one. They've been first class to work with on this. The facility is a first-class facility. I think we were all blown away when we had the opportunity to tour it. And like Jared said, I think everything we're doing is going to be better at the West End Stadium. Like he said, there's going to be, it's going to be a party. And I hope everyone's ready for that. Like at Nippert, the expectation is going to be standing the entire match. We've got this great safe standing area now that's really, if you've seen the construction, it's going to be loud. Sound is just going to amplify off the ground and off the roof. There's going to be flags going. There's going to be smoke bombs going. There's going to be beer spilled, hopefully a lot when we score. And we want as many people as possible to be a part of that and be a part of the revelry. Like Jared said, we're expanding the Bailey. It's going to be over 3,000 tickets now. I think it's almost double the size of the one we have at Nippert. I'm not great at math. I went to law school because I was promised there would be no math involved. But we've got a lot of people that we want to add to the process. So, we're all accessible. All the groups are accessible. I certainly hope that if you're thinking about putting a deposit down for Bailey tickets, that you do it. And that as soon as you put your deposit down, your next step is to go join a supporters group, get involved in the process, be part of the process. It's the most fun you will ever have is hoisting a tifo that you helped paint, singing a song that you helped write, or, being involved in something that you helped build. And I think that the SGs, we work together with the club, we work collaboratively with one another. So it's a big collaborative effort. And this winter before the season starts, we're hopefully going to be launching a website that the group of us together have all put our efforts into. That's going to be a clearinghouse for information so that everybody's on the same page when we move into the West End. I know that it's been rough that we haven't been able to be at these matches, but all the groups, we've been down in the West End. We've been down at Over the Rhine, walking the area, getting ready for match day next year, making plans together. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I couldn't be happier to be part of the process. And like Jared said, please, 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 if you have questions about the new Bailey in terms of how it's going to work from a supporting standpoint, or if you want to get more involved, please reach out. Our goal is for all 3,000 of those tickets in the new Bailey to be SG members, to be members of supporters groups, to be members who are involved, who are getting the updates and are participating in the process. And I think that if we can do that and we grow our groups, we grow our collective power, then that's when we're really going to take things to the next level and be that stadium experience that rivals Portland, that rivals Seattle, and that makes people around the world think, man, I got to go to a game in Cincinnati. So with that, I will yield the rest of my time. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Matt. That's an incredible goal. I'm excited for it. I hope it comes true and everyone does join one of the supporters groups in the new Bailey. I'm excited to see the very first tifo in West End Stadium. It's an exciting time. All right, so thank you everyone for all of your insight to the new Bailey. And now we'll take questions. So anything you guys have, like I mentioned, put it either in the chat box or in the Q&A section. Thanks for your patience. We're gonna go back and forth on both. And we've got Brandon Jones also just kind of answering questions in the chat. So the first one we'll take is from Daniel Kidwell. Jeff Smith, I'll pass this over to you. What if you already roll your money over from this season to next year?
No, it's a great question. And let me hit on a couple additional points. So to clarify, if you are an existing Bailey season ticket holder, you do not necessarily have to make a brand new deposit, but we do need to hear from you. We need to know about your intention. Because of the rollover opportunities and because of pricing remaining flat, your money is already in the door, if you will, right? So there's no need for an additional deposit to come over the top of that, but we do need to hear from you before the 16th. We need to know that you're involved. We need to know that you're looking for seats in the Bailey, okay? So you can reach out to your sales or service rep or anybody on the ticketing team and we'll walk you through that process. And just to clarify, this will remain a general admission section, okay? So just like at Nippert Stadium, there's not assigned seating, there's not reserved seating. This will be a general admission section. And these will be mobile tickets as we move into West End Stadium. So through the years, the Bailey has experienced barcoded wristbands that grant you access into the Bailey and barcoded tickets that grant you access into Nippert Stadium. Like many, many, many sporting venues that have gone before us, all tickets in West End Stadium will be mobile tickets. So downloading the team app will be very, very critical to your game day experience. There'll be a lot more information coming your way about mobile ticketing, how to access your tickets, how to share your tickets, how to transfer your tickets. But just know that that information will be forthcoming. Also, when we think about the Bailey, we often think about the March. And there's still a lot of work being done as it relates to the March. Everything is not finalized. We're working with the city of Cincinnati. We're working with police and fire and safety and access and ingress and all these things. But know that the Bailey March will come in the east side of the stadium and the grand staircase that enters into the stadium. So that will be a fan favorite. That'll be a spectacle at every one of our matches. But know that additional information between supporter groups and the club and front office will be worked on in the coming months leading up to the season.
Wow. All right, Jeff, you just answered, I think, most of the questions in the chat box all at once.
All right. How about that?
Well done. Trina Engel, where are the Capo stands located in the Bailey?
Yeah, I don't think you can see them. The Capo stands themselves are not built until the field is in place, but they will be at the very, very bottom on those visuals that we showed you. So the Capo stands, and there's going to be multiple Capo stands, will be along the very bottom, almost at field level in front of the Bailey.
Awesome. All right. A question for Dan Lawley here from Richard Macaris. Can you provide an update on parking around the stadium or parking passes for those of us that had them already?
Yeah, so parking is still being finalized. Obviously, we're down in a much different setting than Nippert, and we're working with our partners around the about a 10-block area around the stadium. We feel very confident that we've got nearly 5,000 parking spots that we're going to have access to on a game day for prepaid parking. And so we want to extend the same level of service to parking that we are to ticketing, where everything can run straight through SeatGeek. You can enter garages from your phone, and it's all a one-stop shop right there at the FCC app. So I think we're going to have a lot of good opportunities for you. If you haven't heard my spiel on parking before, we do have a couple garages right on site that we have access to. We have a couple other garages in the area that we're partnering with third parties. So a lot of options. Some that are closer to OTR, some that are closer to downtown, some that are near on site. So we think we've got different options. We also have really good plans for ride shares, whether that's the Ubers and the Lyfts of the world. We're also talking to other the golf cart type companies as well that can get us close. Bike rack options. So I think there's going to be a multitude of options to get you into the building.
All right, thank you. I have another one for you in a second, but I've got back-to-back ones for Smitty here. Jeff, the first one from Kim and DJ, did we hear that current Bailey season ticket holders who are in a supporters group would have priority for Bailey ticks as opposed to seniority?
No, let me just clarify that again. So if you are a current season ticket holder, you will have the best priority possible for seat selections, okay? Whether you're a Bailey season ticket holder or whether you have seats in Zone 1, Zone 2, or other areas. If you are not a season ticket holder, but you're a member of a supporter group, we're gonna be offering that very special pre-sale window. It'll be a couple of days opportunity where those individuals can select, okay? And then you have deposit holders that are not season ticket holders and they're not members of a supporter group that will come in that next wave based upon when they make a deposit. So it doesn't take too much to think about, okay, if I want to really benefit and improve my position by joining a supporter group, I could, in essence, kind of slide up and have greater priority during that process. So if you're an existing Bailey season ticket holder, you do not need to make a deposit. We do need to hear from you. We got to be able to know your intent and your involvement in the process.
Okay. And then one more from Katie Farnham. So no way to sit in the Bailey at all.
As it stands right now, pardon the pun, but no, we will have, based upon international events, friendlies, and outside events in the stadium, there will be a mechanism that will have some bleacher seating that will allow for some for seated opportunities at some outside of events. But right now, as it stands, our planning for opening West End Stadium in the Bailey is that it will be safe standing. But we're going to continue to evaluate it. We're going to look for feedback. And if there are opportunities down the road where maybe there are some pockets of areas where we do have some seating, we're going to evaluate that. But as it stands right now, everything will be safe standing as we open the building.
Great. All
We'll
right.
continue to work with our supporter groups. I know at Nippert Stadium, there were some areas that we kind of held and reserved as the march comes in, and there's some designated areas for the supporter groups that come in. We'll be working, again, front office with supporter groups, probably to mirror something quite similar. It's still a work in progress, but there will be some dedicated areas for the march when it comes in.
All right, to answer Daniel's question quickly, will this call be recorded for future view? Yes, it is being recorded, so I'm sure Jeff or Brandon or someone can get you the link, no problem. And just quickly, someone wants to say goodbye before they jump off. Anwar, if you can spotlight Jimmy, please, sorry. Oh, Jimmy, we can't hear you.
Unmute.
You guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
I just wanted to say goodbye real quick. Thanks everybody for joining in tonight. There's exciting times ahead, and I hope to see you guys all maybe at a game soon, but we'll see. Stay safe. See you guys.
Thank you,
Thanks, Jimmy.
All right, we will go back to Dan Lawley. What about Wi-Fi in the stadium? Question from Danny Eaton.
Yes, so we will have full Wi-Fi across the entire stadium. So even before you get into the stadium, you'll pick up our Wi-Fi so that when you get up to the gates, you'll be able to easily pull up your phone and you know, even into your seats around the concourse, et cetera. You'll always be under our Wi-Fi. We also have a cell phone repeater system. So between cell phones and Wi-Fi coverage, we think you're going to have a great experience.
Awesome. And one more for you while I have you. Timothy Salvador, how does the restroom situation compare to Nippert?
Oh, let me tell you, this is where I get excited, guys. You want to talk about restroom layouts and everything? I can tell you a lot. It will be a major upgrade from Nippert Stadium. I can promise you that. The design for restrooms is actually above MLS's requirements and above the city's code requirements. So we feel pretty good about your abilities. We also, you know, we're in a COVID world, right? We can't go through one of these things without bringing up the word COVID. The directive from our ownership group is to have the cleanest restroom experience in Major League Soccer. So, you know, going to a touchless experience, a last touchless experience for people, having doors open, automatic soap dispensers, automatic paper towel dispensers, that sort of thing. We feel like it's going to be much better than porta potties.
All right. Question for you, Jeff Smith. Will there be an option to pay extra to have printed tickets like there was this past season? From Andrew Sten.
Still being worked on right now, but basically, like I mentioned previously, the goal, you know, regardless of COVID, but certainly because of COVID, it's added incentive to be a paperless building to the best of our ability for safety first and foremost, and security of tickets and counterfeit tickets secondarily. So it's not out of laziness that we're looking to go mobile only. It's for safety and health, but also for security of those barcodes, first and foremost. So we will always work with people, but at the same time, hopefully people understand the importance of moving to mobile only, the purpose and the why behind it. So there'll be far fewer exceptions to that. So we will not be charging for paper tickets, but they will certainly have to be some special cases.
Right. And Jacob Mitch, when will half-season ticket plans become available? And will there be a college student discount like in previous years? I can't remember if there was a student discount in MLS.
Yeah, so basically we're in probably our most unique sales timetable that we've ever been in before. So we're in the middle of a season and we're already well into selling the next season. So how this is going to work seat selections will carry through the new year. So we anticipate the schedule to be released late December, early January. So we would anticipate mini plans or half-season packs, individual game tickets, and group tickets going on sale probably late January, maybe even early February. So keep your eyes out on that as we know more information and we see how the deposits shake out, how many people are in line for seat selection, and kind of that domino effect as it relates to the calendar and the schedule coming out for MLS.
Dan Lawley, a food and beverage question everyone is dying to know the answer to. How many Skyline stands will there be? From Troy Breach.
There will be one official Skyline stand on the south end, and then I'm sure there will always be Skyline in my office if anyone wants to have a, we'll call it a satellite location as well.
Are those on the stadium map or no?
No, special map. You got to be special to know that one.
Oh, okay. All right. Question from Sean Hafer. I think we'll go back to you for this one, Smitty. Will you scan each time you enter and leave the Bailey, thinking of people trying to sneak in, avoid overcrowding? Or maybe Lolly knows that one.
I will just start with, you're going to see a little bit of a different experience as it relates to technology at the stadium, as it relates to the ingress and egress options that we have. We're going to have a lot of self-scanning pods at the gates. And we're also going to have self-scanning and secondary scanning in our clubs. But I think we're a little bit premature of really talking through the exact protocol of the Bailey. We're going to spend a little bit more time with our ushers, our security, our games management staff, and really formulate what that process is going to look like. We're going to absolutely protect against overcrowding in the Bailey. We're going to protect against screenshots of mobile tickets, counterfeit tickets like you've heard me touch on before. So I guess the long-winded answer is we're working on it, and we'll have some final details of process and protocol to guard against that.
Okay. And an anonymous attendee, I know you touched on the grand staircase. Will the march still go through the concourse, or will it be funneled right to the section?
Dan, I'll let you manage that one.
Yeah, so the plan that we've talked about right now is that the march will go up the staircase onto the East Plaza, and then once it gets to East Plaza, it'll hit the security checkpoint. So at that point, we'll dissipate it there. The beauty of the East Plaza is that it's such a large space that the celebration, the march, the finale can continue going as people in the front can start going in. So I think what you'll see is probably just a little bit of a different experience there at the end. But the plan would be once you get to that security checkpoint, the march is not organized going through the concourse.
Right. Another one for you from Jeremy Martin. This was one of our earlier questions. Have options been explored that Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta has done with reduced pricing on food and drinks?
Yeah, so we're very fortunate to have Levy Restaurants, as Jeff was saying earlier. Levy Restaurants does Mercedes-Benz Stadium as well. So we've actually taken a couple case studies from them. They went very aggressive on their pricing there, obviously, and I think you're going to see certain items on our end that we go in a similar route. We haven't finalized concession stand pricing yet, but what I would say is I feel very confident. We'll see if Jeff Birding yells at me as I say this, but I feel very confident that we will have the most progressive fan-friendly pricing probably in the Cincinnati area as we look at our competitors in the sports market and the entertainment market. I certainly want to have a better fan-friendly pricing than that team up north. So a little bit of a roundabout answer, but we will be good on that.
Dan, I'll add to that. The structure of our deal with Levy intentionally mirrors the structure of Mercedes-Benz. So we have the flexibility in the deal structure to do some progressive things. If you do a more traditional structure akin to what you might see down on the riverfront, it's harder because the deal it isn't structured in a way for the team to have that level of influence we do with Levy. The key difference here is we're not in a 55 to 75,000 seat stadium where you also have the revenue flow from the NFL games, which candidly makes the margins easier, the dollars easier. So I don't know that we've decided at this point you can have constant refills of a soda or all the hot dogs are $1.50. But to Dan's point, and Nigel can certainly jump in here, I saw also a question about vegetarian options that Nigel can help with in terms of menu. But we will be very progressive. One of our key value standards is to be family friendly, and that means to keep it affordable. I think what we're doing with Bailey season ticket pricing that matches what is here the final year at Nippert is a testament to us making decisions that back that up.
And are we able to get Nigel to jump in and assist here? Because there is a question also about vegetarian food options. Let's see if we can find him.
If not, Alex, I can jump in.
Oh, I see. He's got it. He promoted him to a panelist. Nigel, we're going to call on you if you're ready.
Almost.
We hear you.
Thank
You hear
you.
me?
Yes,
All right.
I can.
Hi, everyone. So yeah, thanks Dan, thanks Jeff for answering those questions, and Jeff Smith for giving such a great overview of the food and beverage and the elevated experiences. But yes, so I think Jeff answered the question regarding Mercedes-Benz very well. Obviously, we'll be very competitive in the marketplace, and we're still in discussions. Obviously, we haven't finalized sponsorships at this time, so we don't even know what our costs are. So obviously, it's fluid, it's a work in progress, but we will be very, very competitive in the marketplace. And then to the vegetarian standpoint, so some of you may know I am a vegetarian, so obviously that's high on my agenda. So there will be obviously many vegetarian options, as many as we can have. There will be vegan, there will be as many vegan options as we can, obviously healthy options with our grab and go markets. That gives us the option for salads and sandwiches and fresh product. So yes, you'll see plenty of, and it won't just be your standard veggie burger. We'll have many more options than that. So yes, vegetarian, vegan, gluten-free, you'll see all of that. Everything will be clearly labeled, ingredients on packages, etc. So yeah, very excited to have those offerings at this stadium.
Thank you, Nigel. Appreciate it. Unprompted questions for you.
Yeah.
Question for Dan Lawley, Todd Carnes. Will the stadium have appropriate privacy conditions for those with newborns and for mothers to feed their babies or infants?
Yeah, so we actually have a dedicated, guest service location on the concourse that'll be available to everyone. And inside that guest service location will be a mothering room and then also a quiet room if any of our guests are on the autism spectrum. So both of those available in the concourse, and we also have available those available in the premium tower as well.
So, all right, let's see. Jeff Smith, where will away fans be located, and what will the away fan protocol look like from Patrick?
Good questions. We're currently working with MLS to finalize where these destinations are. Off the record, ideally, we're looking for away fans to be in the southeast corner of the upper level, close and adjacent to that scoreboard view that we showed coming out of the Bailey. But we do have to go through some approval process with the league on what that protocol is going to be like for away fans and the final destination for away fans. And then also, I know there's some additional questions coming through. So just to clarify a couple of things, we talked about mobile tickets, but we're not going to miss out on the opportunity to thank our fans and thank our season ticket holders with some special gifts. We've kind of grown accustomed to those fun ticket boxes and gifts and kind of commemorative items. Well, you can guarantee that will be coming through those special gifts as we step into West End Stadium. And then you've heard me reference this select a seat, and it's kind of counterproductive when you think about safe standing and general admission. So when we mentioned select a seat, obviously if you're in the Bailey and it is general admission and it is safe standing, you're simply using that opportunity to secure your seats. You're not selecting a definitive location in the Bailey. You're selecting your Bailey season tickets and securing your seats at that time. And then I think, Alex, also we could add to the work in progress list that we are working through a lot of different activation areas. I'm sure a lot of people are thinking about, hey, pregame, what happens around West End Stadium? Where can I go? Is there a spot for my kids or a tailgate? Or obviously as we move into OTR, there's going to be countless opportunities for our fans to pregame at restaurants and bars and destinations. But we will have the Mercy Health Plaza adjacent and connected to the stadium that will have a turf area that's maybe a little bit more akin to Shakely Lawn for some activation for families and kids. We're going to have the East Plaza that we talked about that's going to be opened up pregame and at halftime, which is going to be a tremendous space and utilization for people along the east side of the stadium, certainly people in the Bailey. You're going to be able to go outside of the stadium into this large East Plaza where there will be activation for food and beverage, but that will certainly come to life pregame as well.
All right, lots of good info there. Reminder for you guys, if you're just joining or if you haven't asked a question yet, feel free to type it in the chat box or in the Q&A section and we will get to you. Dan Lawley, back to you, talking Skyline, getting some onions on whatever your selection is. What if you have an allergy and it's known in advance, specifically onion?
Yes, so for that, I would group that into a couple of guest service needs that we'll be able to accommodate. We'll have a full-time guest service manager, and that person will be kind of the catch-all for things such as this, where there's food allergies, where there's medical needs that don't fit our prohibitive items list, things of that nature where we need to make some exceptions. So that person will be able to work with our guests in advance. We'll have phone numbers and email addresses so that they can specifically deal with Levy, in this example, with onions, or security on getting medical devices through the gates. And it'll be a one-stop shop. We want to make it easy for you so you don't have to know, okay, go to Nigel for this or to security for that. Guest service manager will be the one-stop shop.
Awesome, thank you. Question for you, Jeff Smith from Jillian Stein. Is there a minimum age requirement for the Bailey?
A good question. The minimum age requirement for both Nippert Stadium and as we carry over to West End Stadium will be children 3 and under do not require a ticket. So as we think about the Bailey, and you've heard about everything that's going to be happening in the Bailey, the intention of the Bailey, the purpose of the Bailey, there are spaces in West End Stadium that probably are not conducive for small children. I would offer that the Bailey is probably one of those destinations that is not conducive. Have we gone so far to have an actual age cutoff at this point? Not yet, but the entry into West End Stadium, 3 and under do not require a ticket, but I can assure you there'll be more information about safety requirements, process and protocol for the Bailey, and age requirement will probably be on that list.
Question, I believe, for Dan. What are game day plans for Central Avenue? Will it be closed for foot traffic? Will there be activities there outside the stadium?
Yeah, so there's Central Avenue that the stadium's going to sit on, and then there's also Central Parkway, which as a guy who just showed up to Cincinnati right before COVID hit, that was very confusing for my first few months on the job site. Central Parkway, where the grand staircase is, that's going to be a safety zone, and there will be a shutdown on Central Parkway. That east stairway, or that east staircase, really comes down straight to the sidewalk and is right on top of the street. And so we don't want anyone flowing out, at the end of the game and a car flying by. So there will be a shutdown there. Still TBD on what that looks like from an activation standpoint. At the end of the day, that's really about safety and security. So I think that's still TBD in the future.
Okay, thank you. Jeff Smith, back to you. Nigel Armstrong, when is phase 3 planned, the approximate date?
Yeah, let me try to clarify some of the timeframes of this process. So technically, we're kind of in phase 3 right now, where this deposit campaign is about a month long. So again, that October 16th deadline is very, very important to get any type of deposit, or if you're a current Bailey season ticket member, pick up the phone, reach out, make sure we know of your intentions. And then the seat selection process, or the process for which you can secure your Bailey season tickets, will begin towards the end of October. Okay, so as we begin late October, early November, this will be a long process, gang. If you think about all of our season ticket holder accounts, we've been through the club seats, but this will be everybody else. 20,000 seats are in play here. So this will be a multiple month process that will carry into the new year. So technically the seat selection process begins late October, early November, and will carry into the new year.
All right, I have a question either for Matt or Jared, whomever wants to jump in here, from Melissa Woods. How can FCC effectively communicate that the Bailey is a place for singing, chanting, flag waving, and will chant leaders have safe standing? Thinking of LAFC, where they can face the crowd with their microphones effectively to lead chants.
Well, I mean, that's obviously what we want. We want the Bailey to be a loud place. We want the Bailey to be the source of energy for the club, for the stadium. We think the stadium has been purpose-built to allow that to happen. You've got the roof over top. You've got the metal below us. You've got the safe standing that'll be encouraging more people to dance, more people to jump, more people to make noise. You've got the Capo stands where people will be directing noise at the crowd in order to keep everyone singing the same song, just like it is at Nippert, except we're not going to be using megaphones any longer. We're going to be using a sound system that's built into the club, that the club has built into things. We think that everything about the way the new Bailey has been designed makes that a much better proposition than it is at Nippert. And again, I said it in the start too, the best thing that we can do with all of this is coordinate, and the groups work together. All of us are sort of on the same page, wanting to build this collective and this collaborative. And we think that everything they've done so far with the stadium, everything they've built into the stadium, is going to make that a reality. So if there is one thing I'm not worried about in the new stadium, I am not worried that we're going to be loud in that stadium. As long as we sell it out, as long as we get people that are in the section that want to sing, that want to dance, that want to be excited, I think it's going to be a great thing.
And just to add to that, Matt, we'll also be working with the club. I think this year and last year previously, we've worked with the club to kind of put out some information on what to really expect in the section. So we'll continue to do that and work with the club on that, just so the expectations kind of set, as Matt kind of said. Along with that, Matt also mentioned our collective website that we're going to have here soon. Hopefully, maybe in the next few months, we'll push that out and we can have more resources and kind of explain, what we're expecting on match day and how things work, I guess you could say. So hopefully all those things together will get the message across.
Great. Question for Dan Lawley. Patrick Lake, will there be an Uber Lyft designated pickup drop-off zone?
There will be. We've actually got 3 right now that we've targeted. One on the south end, about a block away, one on the east end, about 2 blocks away, and then one on the west end about 2 blocks away as well. With those, you want to get them a little far away so you're not just getting stuck in traffic at the stadium, and finding a nice, well-lit path as well.
Awesome. All right, Jeff Birding, question from David Sherman here. Are there any plans to partner with public transit and parking in other areas of the city, ticketing deals, extended hours of service, etc.?
We've started having some conversations. Sorta was a little busy with their levy a few months back, so we were letting them get past that. The number one public transit option is the streetcar. There's over 5,000 parking spaces down on the riverfront, and people are going to be able to park on the riverfront or at Fountain Square and take the streetcar up. The city has made the streetcar, I think, free at this point. So the opportunity for people to park in other parts of downtown certainly is an option. As it relates to, I know from my days at the Bengals, they used to have, you could do park and rides at Western Hills Plaza and then take buses down to the riverfront. That's a conversation we're still to have.
Great, thank you. A question for you, Dan. Have there been any discussions about what will happen to season tickets if fans aren't allowed to attend in person next season due to COVID?
Yeah, I think, with Jeff Smith, Jeff Birding, all of our senior leadership, we talk about this, on a weekly, if not daily basis. As everyone here realizes, this is changing day by day. And so I think it'd be premature to really start planning for something that's, what are we now, 7 months out? Because the landscape is going to change in a week, in a month, and certainly in 7 months. So we're cognizant of it. We're keeping an eye on things. I can tell you we're working with the local authorities. We're working with the governor's office, and that is running through me right now. And so I'm well in tune with all of our COVID planning. But I think it's just a little premature to talk about it too much at this point, not knowing what the environment's going to be like that far out.
All right, thank you. And I will kick it back to Jeff Birding, who has some more comments.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to thank everyone for attending tonight, for your interest. Certainly want to thank Jared and Matt. Let me just a bit about the Bailey and our supporter groups. To me, they sort of epitomize the best of people because what I've witnessed over 5 years, and I want to be authentic, I did no supporter culture. I was not a soccer person, but when we started this, I think many people know it. I needed Jared and Jeff Smith and Matt and others to sort of teach me this. But the thing that I've loved about the supporter groups and people who sit in the Bailey is they came from many different parts of the community, different backgrounds, different levels of fandom, and they sort of all came together to form this community at our matches. And, it's been said that the number one need for all people is acceptance, the need to experience a sense of belonging to something or someone. And I see that in the Bailey. I see that from the people in the Bailey, where people are empowered to be themselves, as imperfect as each of us are, knowing that this is the group that I belong to, and these are my friends. And, we were having beers not too long ago with some of the leadership and not even just talking about FC, just talking about what's going on in the world. And so I think that's the really powerful thing about the Bailey. And I love that and respect that about everyone. And for anyone who's looking for that kind of experience through our supporter groups, then I think the Bailey's for you. So thanks so much for your interest. And we look forward to seeing you at the West End Stadium.
Great, thank you so much, Jeff. And Jeff Smith, I'll kick it back over to you if you have any closing thoughts as well.
Thanks, Alex. I think first and foremost, just thank you to everyone for being on the call tonight. Thank you for what you've done and hopefully what you're going to do. We talk about it all the time that, there's one opportunity, that there's one chance, there's one inaugural season at a new stadium. And we watched firsthand the Bailey sell out for the past 3 years and people wishing and wondering if they could have gotten in, and now I can't get in and I'm left on the outside looking in. And I think we all look at this as this is an incredibly unique opportunity for that one chance. So I would hopefully challenge you guys and encourage you guys to consider, let us help you, reach out, we'll walk you through the process. We do believe that this is a unique and historical opportunity to be a part of something so spectacular and so special in this city. So thank you for all that you've done, and thank you for your consideration and being here tonight. We look forward to working with you through this process.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Very well said. And thank you to all of you for joining us. Thank you to our panelists for all of the questions that you answered. I know there were many, but thank you very much to the supporters for sending in all the questions. This helps everyone. So we're very, very glad that you guys joined. And we hope that you're getting more and more excited for the next steps as we all prepare to come together at West End Stadium in 2021. It will be here before we know it. Reminder, that deadline, October 16th, but as Jeff Smith alluded to, just be in touch with your ticket representatives. That's the most important thing. You can always email tickets@fccincinnati.com if you need to get in touch with anyone, or call us at the front office. So we're all excited to see the Bailey come to life at West End Stadium. Thank you all again, and have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Alex.